Greetings, and thank you for joining us here at CBR. Darkseid is one of DC's most powerful beings. Let's take a closer look at things you may not know about Darkseid.
I am death. I am Darkseid.
Created by Jack Kirby, the infamous villain has been a crucial part of the DC universe for the past 55 years. Darkseid's first ever appearance is in 1970's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 134. In the comic, Darkseid can only be seen in one panel, a televised head delivering orders to none other than Morgan Edge, DC's eminent media mogul. It wouldn't be until Forever People number 1, concerning a group of heroes from New Genesis, that Darkseid would receive a more substantial role within DC storylines. Darkseid's initial cameo in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen does little to flesh out Darkseid's backstory. Still, despite the introduction of a new enigmatic evil, there are some facts about the character that one would only find from looking up supplemental information about the character's creation. Jack Kirby based Darkseid's face on Jack Palance, a marquee star whose body of work, at the time, consisted of war-set epics, sword and sandal pictures, and devious noirs. Palance's influence, however, was primarily visual, as the rest of Darkseid is culled from the annals of real-world history, a composite of various fascist figures, including none other than Adolf Hitler. In the Jimmy Olsen comic, Darkseid's single-panel appearance suggests aims that would become clearer in time. This appearance also shows that Darkseid was originally conceived of as a far less bombastic version of what he would later become. In that early iteration, Darkseid is a meticulous man behind the curtain, convincing others to enact a plot that wouldn't be fully revealed for a long time to come. In the comic, Morgan Edge is working for Darkseid. Thus, he is able to plant stories, tamper with evidence, and lay the groundwork for the titanic figure who would appear more fully realized down the road. The cameo also served a multi-fold purpose in introducing Darkseid to an audience who was looking to read more about the goings-on in Superman's world.
And now to deal with you.
Darkseid, formerly known as Prince Uxas, was born to King Yuga Khan and Queen Hegra on the planet known as Apokolips, where he was the second in line for rulership after his brother, Drax. Not to be confused with the Marvel character of the same name, Drax was the purported favorite son, although Hegra secretly had other plans, and it was part of his destiny to descend into the Infinity Pit where he could claim limitless power. However, thanks to tampering by Darkseid, an ally to Uxas, Drax's suit, which would allow him to harness the pit's Omega effect, malfunctioned. In his stead, Uxas claims the Omega effect for himself, and Drax faced imminent nullification. However, Drax's encounter with his traitorous brother doesn't actually kill him. Later, with the guidance and help of Astor, another being from Apokolips, Drax takes up the mantle Infinity Man, harnessing a power from none other than the Source, with the intention of opposing the Omega effect. Meanwhile, Uxas gains favor with his mother and renames himself Darkseid, becoming the figure that most DC fans are familiar with. With his newfound purpose along with his new name, Darkseid pours himself into research of the anti-life equation and starts a family with Suli. But before long, Hegra has Suli killed, earning her the full contempt of her son. Thus, Prince Uxas, later Darkseid's past, draws more from mythology and sets him up on a grander, more universal scale.
What is your will, my lord?
As ever, to search for the anti-life equation.
Part of Darkseid's main motivation is the anti-life equation. It was first introduced in Forever People number 5 and has shaped Darkseid's character since. In varying media, the anti-life equation has been described as irrefutable proof of either utter meaninglessness or something primordial in nature, either of which leads Darkseid to believe that attaining the equation will allow him to control any and all living beings in the universe. Thus, Darkseid's true goal is revealed: complete and total universal domination in order to eliminate what he views as chaos throughout the cosmos. This ambition defines him throughout his plots in various media, from the comics to animation and beyond. His desire for control makes him a threat to all people throughout the cosmos, making him a terrifying enemy for any hero to face, and one of the few beings that Superman cannot fully face on his own.
Darkseid was engineered to be one of the immutable pillars of the multiverse.
Still, it would take some time before the imminent crossover between mainline DC Comics would occur. Darkseid was developed by Jack Kirby after he moved from Marvel to DC Comics. Kirby envisioned him as the main antagonist against the New Gods as part of the Fourth World universe. The Fourth World concerns entities beyond the scope of planet Earth, who are enacting a grand mythological drama. However, instead of being wrapped up in earthbound affairs, the New Gods are a sci-fi exploration of ancient concepts. It's only after innumerable battles in which heroic figures like Orion, Darkseid's son, would square off against a cosmic backdrop would their fight take them to Earth. In 1984, Jack Kirby provided some of his most iconic work, tackling the entire Justice League for the first time in the mini-series event Superpowers. It's here that the Justice League takes on Darkseid and his various villainous devotees, finally connecting the outer worlds with the characters who primarily operate on Earth. At this time, Darkseid was positioned as a more omnipotent, abstract form of evil than simply serving as the arch-nemesis to Superman. It would take further development for DC to pull the trigger. Later, in the wake of the crisis on Infinite Earths, writer-artist John Byrne was given the opportunity to reboot the DC Universe. While this reboot still had to include some older elements, it is most notable for putting Superman in more direct contact with Darkseid than he ever had before.
Superman must suffer for killing me.
Still, Darkseid's aim in pursuing the anti-life equation placed the supervillain in contrast to numerous heroes across the known and unknown universe. While he is most associated with Superman, Darkseid's son Orion actually has been the one prophesied to defeat him. As prophecy foretold, Orion would ultimately wage a battle against Darkseid on planet Earth, ultimately ripping his father's heart out in Final Crisis. Darkseid, however, would die only in mortal form, but his essence would be sent hurtling back in time, where it would find a new legion of acolytes and prepare for the next battle.
I could destroy you with a single blast of my Omega beam.
Darkseid has become one of DC's most iconic villains. Darkseid even greatly influenced Thanos, who has become the MCU's most significant villain thus far, even though the two characters have different philosophies and goals. Darkseid has taken on varied roles throughout DC media. For example, Darkseid is voiced by Weird Al Yankovic in Teen Titans Go.
Ah yes, the great singer of song parodies.
He also plays a more comedic role in the Harley Quinn animated series and Kite Man, Hell Yeah. However, he also serves as the ultimate villain in the Snyder Cut of Justice League. No matter the adaptation, Darkseid is a character who represents DC's greatest threat against life and free will. While there is no one true mainline version of events, most major DC media franchises either directly reference or allude to Darkseid as the villain who is always in the shadows, until he isn't. Darkseid is timeless, and as long as there are human values, the supervillain shall exist to eradicate them and replace them with his own vision for the ultimate order of the cosmos.
But let the universe howl in despair, for I have returned.
Let us know your favorite Darkseid-centric comics in the comments below. Do you think James Gunn's new DCU will eventually work its way to a major Darkseid reveal? If so, which Darkseid storylines would you like to see adapted the most in the new DCU live-action works? Remember to hit subscribe before you go. Thanks for tuning in to CBR, and we'll see you next time.